Hello and welcome to You Got a Thing, Milwaukee's interview thing about theater things. I'm Jill Anapanasik, the artistic director of Milwaukee Opera Theater, and I am so excited to be talking with Sarah and Corrie today. Sarah, would you mind introducing yourself first?
Yeah, sure. I'm the writer and star of this show that we're going to talk about. It's my little baby. I'm trained as a dancer and I'm a poet, and I co-own the Pink House Studio, which I call like an eclectic healing arts studio or a social healing arts studio in Riverwest. And I'm really been focused on um, like singing and just the arts that we do together, theater and all these experiences that we've created to help support and celebrate and heal ourselves. And I did a lot of dancing when I was young, and then I had kids and things like that. And then just a bunch of, I don't know, like 7 years ago, I was like, I want to start coming back into the dance performance world. And I've been poking around and stuff. And then I got this idea of a piece and found Cooperative Theater, and they've been supporting me. And so we've had 3 shows, and we have one more show coming up on Saturday night, or we had 4 shows.
I love that origin story. Corrie, would you mind introducing yourself and telling us just a tiny bit about Cooperative Performance?
Sure. So I'm Corrie Tritz. I am the project manager for One Universe, which is Sarah's show that she's been referring to. I am also on the board of directors of Cooperative Performance. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are also incorporated as a cooperative. So we are an arts membership organization. We have both artist members and audience members. So we're really focused on new work development and performance that breaks the boundaries between artistic disciplines, between forms, the boundaries that exist between artist and audience. We're really committed to pretty much smashing through every wall you could think of and building something beautiful from the rubble.
Sure, Rebel, sure. Also, I've enjoyed so much everything that I've seen at Cooperative Performance. Can you talk to me a little bit about how Sarah found you and how you found Sarah?
Sure. So it was pre-pandemic times, if you can rewind to a simpler time before all of this stuff went down. So we were connected with a couple of artists, Daniel Burkholder and Kamani Fowlin, for a piece called Embodied Truth, which explored, it was a dance, spoken word, community like gathering type of performance, really focused on parenting and parenting, with like a racial justice and gender justice lens in the Me Too and Black Lives Matter moment that we were really going through at that time. So Sarah, we reached out to her. I can't quite remember quite how we found you, but we were, looking for parents who were movers and who had some experience with kind of thinking through these issues.
Yeah.
Daniel is a white cis man, and Kamani is a biracial single mom from Brooklyn who they've worked together for a very long time. And we were just kind of like putting feelers out in the community to people who were potentially already thinking through these things to share their experiences and to build out that content. And it was challenging because that was the show that we had to cancel because of COVID. So it eventually emerged into an online format, and we
That's
kind
what I was going to ask because I remember
of
that. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So it was
Yeah.
originally, intended to be kind of an in-person gathering, like fluid boundary performance, and it ended up kind of being something totally different, but kind of equally valuable. And like people from all over the world were able to see it and like experience this art as a result. And Sarah, you were a big part of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so Daniel actually I think asked me or encouraged me to, there was actually an audition, and I went and danced um and it was so wonderful to be part of the group. Like, it was a really wonderful creation process, and really disappointing when we ended up going from being in person, because we had so much beautiful material and such great relationships we were building. So that was the in-person part was a loss, I think, for me and for parts of the piece. But it definitely, I'd already been watching Cooperative Performance. Like I'd gone to see, I think, like a number of pieces, like the one at the Urban Ecology Center around the fire and things like that. So it was already on my radar. And then so I had a little bit of the baby of this piece in my mind, and I'd already pitched, I think, while I was in Embodied Truth, I then pitched the idea for this piece also pre-pandemic. So and I've been approved. So I think we should just, I know we don't have that long, but the way that Cooperative Performance like has these pitches and then like accepts pieces to produce, to me, is what's really so incredible about it. And the actual support that I've had Corrie, I've had a project manager like helping me take my idea and turn it into a reality has been like amazing. And I don't know if other cities have cooperatives like this, but this is like such an amazing model to me, that people don't have to start their own, theater or dance company. They can just have an idea. And I think especially for someone like me, a little bit older, right? Like I'm not going to start my career, but I still have something to offer the community, so getting that support is just like so incredible. I really would love to have more people understand what asset Cooperative Performance is.
Why don't you describe the process that you went through in the pitching? Because I do think that is the truly unique thing about Cooperative Performance, and it's the only model I know of that exists in this particular way.
Yeah. Well, they literally had an event, and they ask you to prepare ahead of time. So there's a bunch of questions to help you like articulate what it is that you want to have produced. And so that you're in contact with Cooperative Performance before you actually do the pitch to make sure you are answering the questions like, what do you imagine this is a full length? How many people? What do you think a budget will be? And then you go and you do like a nice little PowerPoint in-person presentation kind of, and of what you're doing. And then the audience and members of Cooperative Performance approve. I don't know how it's been going to be going forward. This is how it was for me. And there's like a little voting process. And then once they approve you, then you start moving forward on trying to make it a reality and getting the backing of Cooperative Performance. And so then Corrie was assigned to me as my project manager, and just really made sure I was like, okay, are you starting to like write this and rehearse this? And found a stage manager, found a venue, just kept, did the help with the PR, did all the PR and promotion kind of stuff. So I got to really focus a lot on being the artist and the performer while I had this whole organization behind me, supporting me. So it was really amazing.
What a great story. Corrie, what are the first things that you address when you assume a project as manager? Like that, right? Project manager can mean so many things. Like in this context, like what are the first steps that you take when Cooperative Performance says, okay, we're doing One Universe, go?
So Sarah goes through, like, just to use Sarah's piece as an example. So she gave a pitch at one of our pitch events. We kind of take the audience members and the cooperative members' kind of opinions on it into consideration, and then we as a board consider things like feasibility, budget, whether or not like we have the capacity to address it, like whether or not like aesthetically it kind of fits in with our goals and the things that we think are really our strengths as a company. And then we fight and arm wrestle over who gets to be the project manager for the shows, and I emerged victorious for this one because kind of the interdisciplinary, like kind of feministy, like women's focused, like abstract death cycle stuff, which I don't know if we'll get into, is kind of extremely my jam. So once we were committed to that, and it was a little, different because our typical timeline for to produce a project from like pitch to performance would usually be like 3 to 9 months, depending on like how like what kind of time of year the artist had in mind, like what everyone's availability would be. And we've been incubating this since January of 2020. So it's been kind of a challenge to adjust to that timeline because, being in person was extremely important for the vision of this piece. So we did elect, we had a fully virtual season last year and kind of up to kind of the beginning of this year. And we elected to postpone it rather than kind of try to adapt a piece that we think like would lose a lot in translation to the digital medium. So, we had a couple of meetings. We talked about things like goals. I've got a very long PowerPoint that has like a timeline for how, like these are kind of your rough expectations of like what you as the artist can expect from us, what we're going to need from you on approximately what timeline. And then it's just a lot of legwork, so Sarah needed a stage manager. We found her a stage manager. Primarily, we work through our network. Our artist members, have various talents and interests. So we always they're our first go-to when we're looking to source talent for a project. Not everyone who works with us by any means is a member, but, oftentimes, and Sarah, you had this experience of, working with us as an artist and then being like, yeah, this is something that I would like to be a part of, and like, let me join as a member and see how I can contribute my particular talents and visions to it. And here you are now. So things like script development, I connected Sarah with a person who was interested in her pitch from way back in the day to kind of go through and shape some of the storytelling. Daniel, who Sarah had worked with previously, helped with a little bit of the choreography. So it's really about making the connections, right? So what do we need to make a show? We need an audience. Let's connect with let's find our audience that's going to connect with this piece. Like, do we have community partners who would be interested in like bringing groups or like potentially doing some sort of sponsorship? Do we need to raise money? Is there a fundraising aspect to it? We'll assist with that. And we'll do a lot of the marketing. So marketing and venue,
I wanted to jump in just to say that was a really nice aspect of it. So I don't know how to pronounce Megan's last name, but
Orcholsky. Megan Orcholsky is
Orcholsky. So I got Megan helped me with some of the writing and making sure that the piece wasn't like super long, right? I had like 10 hours of material. Like I just kept like wanting to like weave more in. It's a very eclectic piece. And so Megan helped me with that. Yeah, getting the support costume designer helped me with this like kind of cool, fun costume idea that I had that we made come to fruition, which you should come see because that's fun. So yeah, it was both the just support in lots of different ways, especially in terms of artistically, it was also really nice. Yeah.
So I'm hearing that it's a solo show in that the seed of it or the core of it comes from you and you develop the material, but then Cooperative Performance provides this network of others to assist in executing that. I've heard
you an outside eye, which I really wanted to, make sure I had a quality product. And so I really wanted people from the outside to like help me, edit it down and make sure it was really working well. And honestly, can I just like talk about the actual piece?
I was just going to ask. Yes.
I'm feeling pretty excited. I actually have a bunch of, it's been mainly my friends and family coming to see it so far, my circle. I have a bunch of people coming back who are like, I just want to see it again. It's really rich and deep. I don't know if you know this, Corrie. I had like someone send me a poem that they were inspired to write because of it. It is, so I took a lot of the writing I already had and like personal stories. And the original idea was just, I was asked by the Midwest Women's Herbal Conference to do like a little storytelling for 10 minutes. And I was like, storytelling? And so I kind of took just some pieces I had from being in a nature immersion program and being a mom. And I wove those in with just the story of the beginning of the universe as we know it. And and I was like, oh, that was turned out really nicely. And so I just kind of had this idea of expanding upon that, like just using myself and what my life, and then also just what could I do on a stage, like one woman, right? Like a real one woman show. And I'm super proud of it. I even almost all the soundtrack is either music is either mine. I wrote a bunch of it. So my partner Ian also did a lot of the background music for me. There's one cover song that I sing with a friend, and I have a musical support, Howard Hinthatier, who comes on during the show while I sing one song. So really working on, like, what can I do on a stage? There's like no limits for me as the artist. Like I can just like switch back and forth, and really playing with that relationship with the audience too, like flipping in and out of different ways of performing in front of the audience, like, and being in relationship with them. And so far, as I say, I think from the artistic input I gotten from the responses, I think it's worked. Like people are really, really enjoying it, and also coming up to me and telling me different parts. Like oh, this part really touched me. Oh, I love this, or Corrie said that a girlfriend said she could listen to my stories about being in the woods forever or something. So like different parts are really resonating for people. And also as an activist, it was very about my process as like where we are as a species, and which is I'm both like love humans and tragically heartbroken by us and what we do to each other and our planet. So just trying to like navigating through that story of and I guess the thing for me is the universe, right, is the relationships of creation and destruction are really the base theme for me of the whole piece. That's like the world that we've been born into, and we're just all trying to navigate through it. And so like, what's my personal experience with that? And what's the universe for me? Yeah. So I really want people to come see it, because I think it's like delightful. It is funny, right? To moments, Corrie.
Oh yeah.
I do too. You have one more performance left, right?
Yeah.
We do. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Sunstone Studios in downtown Milwaukee.
And I saw that there are some cushions on the floor available.
Well, I don't know available. I haven't checked the ticket sales.
I thought that was really charming. That's a great sign too, that you're adding that accessibility. There's part of me that wonders, as you talk about people coming to see it more than once, and when people need to share personal stories, or they share something cultural back to you, like those are the signs that you've really made something that is becoming part of people's stories, right? Like this is a piece that they will remember. This is a piece that they will carry forward with them of that one time that I saw, right? Especially if it goes so far as to inspire them to write a poem in response, right? Like you're really putting ideas in motion. And that makes me wonder, it makes me want to ask the question, what's next? And you're not even done with this, but like, does this have another expression? Does it come back?
Well, I must say, I certainly have tons more ideas and materials and things to do. I really, I don't think I'll ever do anything like by myself like this again. Like it was kind of like, I'm going to just do this one hurrah, just like really put myself out there. I've been a dancer for so many other people, like, and I was like, no, I'm going to just let me, the artist, use me. And although I don't dance that much, but there's plenty of ideas out there, and it's great to know that Cooperative Performance is like, now I'm connected. So.
Yeah, that was one of my questions that I didn't ask, but now I'm tempted to ask it. It's one thing to, as an artist, to have an idea or to be contemplating something, to even pitch it. But it's another thing entirely to like cross that Rubicon and say, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Like how can you tell us a little bit about that journey for you to say, I've never done this before. I've done a lot of other things, but I've never done exactly this, but I'm going to do it.
I for me, just being able to say I did this to go through this experience, and literally the performance, when I do it, it's like I'm jumping into water, and I need to swim to an island, and I don't remember how to swim or where the island is, and I just know it's going to go for another hour and 15 minutes. And it's like really crazy, that like moment when I'm about to like do it. Yeah. And in terms of just like creating this whole thing and getting to the relationships I've built, like with Corrie and my stage manager, is like just also knowing that it's expanded my own universe. Like I've had this another big experience that, and facing a lot of fears, right? It's pretty scary to just like be like, yeah, I have something to say. I want to share this, you know? So I hope it's made me a stronger person in the end, like having this experience.
I have to believe it has, you know, and I also think you're sharing that with those who come to see it, right? I have a feeling that those who have been able to experience it so far, like emerge feeling stronger as well from being able to witness that. You know?
Yeah. Can I share it? Do we have time for the tiniest little story? So I do a dance.
Yeah.
Well, we do a dance every week outside in the park, but we also started doing them indoors again. They had one on Wednesday evening, and a woman who comes to the dance came, and she actually had like a pretty fun, sexy outfit on, and she said she was like feeling really intimidated to do it, and then she was like, I just saw Sarah's piece, and if Sarah can like get naked and just like reveal her soul to everybody, I can like wear whatever I want to this dance, you know. She was like really inspired, just like be herself, and it was really touching to hear that story. That yeah, how she was.
As you were saying, you know, about so much is contagious, right? Like not just a pandemic that we're in, but seeing someone do something courageous, seeing someone do something vulnerable, like that also encourages others, you know, to embody those heroic qualities too. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have anything else that you want to leave us with today, either Sarah or Corrie?
Oh, yeah, just like come see it. I really, this is like my gift to our art community and our Milwaukee community. So I'm pretty sure if you come, you'll be really happy or satisfied that you came. So I welcome people.
Go see it, everybody.
Thank you so much, Jill.
Oh, thank you. What a treat to talk with you. I've been reading about the project. It's so nice to be able to speak with you and learn more. And thank you for joining us, Corrie. I look forward to seeing more of your work at Cooperative Performance.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Jill.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that I always think about one single artist shows is the bravery that it takes to do that. Like that is just that just takes some real.
But then I think that, yes, and that initial bravery, but then plus the organizational courage of Cooperative Performance. And that I feel like is that really special thing that support for an artist's idea can do, right?
Yeah.
So is this something that would have happened if those two things didn't come together, Sarah and Cooperative Performance? Do you know what I mean? Because then it's like, once the organization gives you, I guess, both permission and support and encouragement and resources, then this thing flourishes because it has that nurturing behind it, as opposed to just going out in the universe and being like, I'm doing my own thing and I'll do it all by myself and I don't need any help, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I will say the one thing that strikes me is, you know, that Corrie was like doing a lot of the behind the scenes work, and I know from my own experience that when you're trying to build something as an artist, even the marketing piece alone to just get the word out is so time consuming and such a brain drain, that to just have one more person to do that is a huge support mechanism. It's really fantastic.
It's been so cool to watch Cooperative Performance like find their traction too in the city over time. And I loved hearing even more about how they find the fit of, you know, like the artist pitch and what the artist needs, and plus what the community needs, plus what we feel, you know, fits the organization, that balancing act of values and Yeah, it's very exciting. It's exciting to see that merge.
And just the something that we like here at the MTA is the cooperation, the collaborative thing of all hands on deck and that sort of vibe. So that's an amazing quality to have, and more needed more, to be perfectly honest, because it's hard to be a single organization, and the more help that you can get is always valuable.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's just talk about a few extra things happening here, and we will get on with our day. The first thing I want to mention is that next week, Saturday, we have Milwaukee Theater Alliance. If you haven't heard us talk about this, me ad nauseum, for real. The MTA spent a big portion of the pandemic, because again, we couldn't really sort of produce anything. So there was a small handful of us that took the Chicago theater standards and revamped them for the Milwaukee community to suit the Milwaukee community. And so we swore that this would be a living document, that each year we would review it. Things change, and we need to do what's best for our community. And part of that is making sure that new things come up, and new movements and revolutions that they need to be incorporated into this document. And so next week, Saturday, we're going to do a Zoom for a couple hours where you can come and first of all, you get acquainted with the theater standards, and it is quite a document. Also, part of our process now is to sort of pare it down and get it into a smaller, more manageable document. I would love to see like a bullet pointed one sheeter to be like, here's the thing. Now, if you want to read the whole thing, go here. But this is to look over the document and then come in those 2 hours. You can come at any time and be like, hey, I saw something on page 12 that I think I don't care if it's a typo. Like, honestly, just
it's time for the digest version of the Milwaukee Theater Standards.
Yeah, because I think
I'm just going to interrupt to say, like, this is one of the most valuable things that MTA has developed. Like, it is so enormously helpful to have this comprehensive document, and it has been of great service to Milwaukee Opera Theater, and it is something that we could not have done alone. So it really is, from the community for the community, and so helpful.
The one piece that I use on a regular basis is this part, and there's a sample in there, and you can use it however you want. It's called the concern resolution path, and it really is to provide an avenue where historically people have been afraid to say things, or to come forward and talk about things that are hurtful or bothering them over the production. And this is to provide an avenue of resolution where you can feel like you're being heard and things are getting solved. And you can sort of put the structure however you want to. It's sort of like, first of all, if you can talk directly with the person, talk directly with the person. Second of all, the first next step would probably be your stage manager, and talk to your stage manager. But then you can incorporate a non-equity deputy. What we do here at the MTA is I reach out to mine over this past year has been Katie Cummings. That is an external person away from the production that you can go to. And then for us, we can discuss it within the Theater Alliance and sort of just come to a solution that is great for everybody. But again, away from so that's the biggest piece that that I have found helpful. But there's a ton of stuff in there. It's about, diversity and inclusion and sexual harassment and all the things. So you can come. Otherwise, if you can't make it, there is an online form. And I'm going to pop this out there right now. There's a way to send comments that you can take a look at, and that's on the website right now. Because again, some people can't make it, but we still want to hear from you. So that's that. Then this is an ongoing, awesome virtual piece that Capita is putting on. Capita stands for City at Peace in the Arts, and they do this a yearly presentation that you can use for your community organization, schools, and whatnot. And again, it's they say educational, entertaining, and a high energy Black history show. So very important for Milwaukee. You can find more information about that at capitaproductions.com. Can you talk to me about this for a second? Because this is something that I keep seeing in the social media feeds, but we have not focused on at all.
Yeah, this is like our stealth project this year.
It's so bizarre that we have not talked about this at all.
Yeah. This, really briefly, the Aria Project was born during the pandemic when artists were losing contracts. So there was a moment of panic as we saw friends losing gigs, and we're reading all that grief online. And we were just trying to come up with, okay, what is some way, anything that we can do to empower people to keep them working on something, right? Even if it's tiny. The scale of this is very small. But so that idea was like, can we create a fee that we budget out and that we provide to a series of artists to create their own digital project, so something that they can do safely at home, where they're sharing something about their own pandemic experience using an aria from their repertoire, right? So it's a little bit complicated, but it was like it's kind of a little window into 8 different singer actors in the Milwaukee area, each choosing something to share about their life as an artist in the pandemic, but then they use it by performing an aria that they already know, right? So that was also part of it. Or they could choose to learn something. But I think it was like, how do we just keep the creative juices flowing and knowing that like one of the things that we need as an artist is simply something to work on, right? Like when that goes away, not just the money, not just all those other things, but just to have something to be busy with. Yes. Yeah. So it was like, how do we just keep that flowing? So we asked 8 people this year to contribute aria projects, and they are such a delightful array of different experiences, right? Some of them are sort of heartbreaking. Some of them are just so funny. Like I think I watched Cecilia's from last month like 11 times because it's about parenting in the pandemic. Okay. And it's a rage. She sings a Baroque rage aria. It is too
a Baroque rage aria. And then
the one this month is Austin Bear, who's an associate artist with us this year. And he said, we have someone who's directing all the pieces, but he said, is it okay if I do one that is actually kind of looking at some of the benefits of living through the pandemic, which is that I grew so much closer to my partner by doing these simple domestic things together than I think we would have if life had continued as planned. And so he's doing this really lush German operetta aria, but then the film, there's like he and his partner doing really like cooking, all the things that people did during the pandemic of like, they're doing arts and crafts, they're cooking together, they're learning something together, they're like, like trying to keep themselves from going crazy together. So it's a little love letter to her, actually, his video, which is it's really sweet.
And also, I got to give a shout out to Nicole McCarty, who was in Apple over at the Constructivist, and I know that she did one as well.
Did you watch yours?
Yeah. No, I haven't. That's the thing about this thing about how stealth, and that's like I saw it coming through, but I'm finally starting to come back up
Right.
for air now.
So
Like,
they've been
weeks after?
delivered, we just said delivered free to your inbox once every month from October to May, because we were also trying to do something that would be, low barriers to access, like free and easy for people who might not be getting out and about yet.
Yeah.
And just something that we can share without any strings attached, right? Like just
Yeah.
hit play and you can experience this 7 minutes,
Yeah.
And Nicole's is early on and she's auditioning masks. So she's trying to get ready for a concert and she's singing one of her arias and she's like trying every mask that's been devised and they all suck in different ways, because none of it is what she wants to do. And so it's all carefully choreographed how she's testing them and rejecting them. And then she tries to put lipstick on and realizes that she has a mask on at the end. It's but again, it's like unique
Which
to
is
every
such her personality,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also every singer for sure who's tried to do anything during the last 2 years has would identify with that experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's sort of like, she's using this one little window of what it's been like to be this kind of a performing artist during this period.
Yeah. So there's a couple left, and
2 left. One will go out today. One goes out today, the 15th of every month at 2 p.m.
Okay.
And that's Austin's. And then next month is the last one of this year's Aria Project, and that'll be Colleen Brooks.
Okay.
So we'll have 8, and then we'll kind of package those all together and send, we'll send a final email saying here's the whole year's
thing
of the Aria Project. So it was an 8-month project.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But you can go to MilwaukeeOperaTheatre.org
and watch any of them that have been published so far. They're all up there.
That's awesome. And also sign up for email while you're there.
Oh
yeah. So Skylight Music Theatre has a raisin going on right now, based on A Raisin in the Sun, but the musical. I have not seen it yet, but I will get over there because
gotta see it.
Got it. You have to see this one. But it follows the jubilation, heartbreak, and ultimate triumph of the first African American family to buy a house in the all-white neighborhood of Clybourne Park in Chicago. And so that historically alone should be enough for you to get your butt over there because
go see it.
These kind of projects are important. Also coming up, I guess this starts Monday, is the kids rights program. This has been going on for 22 years now. It's where elementary school kids, it's from 3rd to 8th grade or something like that. Yeah, grades 3 through 8. Yeah, write things. And then professionals take them and make musical theater out of it, which is just hilarious because we all know that kids write amazing things. And this year their theme was fun because the past couple years have not been. And so they were inspired to write about the importance of fun and sharing joy with others. So again, that is going to start, the virtual things are going to start Monday, and it's in 4 segments. And so you can go to skylightmusictheatre.org to check more out on that. And you can also, they ask for contributions as well. And this is great programming that would be a good thing to contribute to, because kids, you got to get them while they're young. You got to get them looped into the theater when they're young. Yeah. Next we have Sunstone Studios. They have a couple of things coming up. Their Studio K Flamenco is tonight, but this is an ongoing thing that's it's April, then June, then July, then August. So right now it's National Poetry Month. This is a flamenco performance featuring the poetry and lyrics of Federico Garcia Lorca, and the limited seating and all this kind of stuff. So that, and Mandalas and Mirrors, which is this is part of their new playwright series that's starting next week. I believe it's one weekend, but there's like 4 plays or something like that, and they're all at sort of these staggered times. But it's, you know, the new playwright series are always fun and great, and it's good to see new art coming out. So you can go to Sunstone Studios MKE.com for more information on that. And then yes, a couple, no, yeah, then I think we just have some, Imagine MKE things. Always have to, this group is working so hard to get more money into the arts, and one of their biggest things was trying to get 2% for arts and culture through the American Rescue Plan Act. And then there's also the Wisconsin Finance Committee is also going to vote on some things, and so part of this is that they have, okay, so National Endowment for the Arts always gives like $109,000 or something. That's the National Endowment for the Arts allocation. But Wisconsin has to match that fund in order to get this money. And right now, the Joint Committee on Finance of Wisconsin refuses to match this. We are 49th in state funding for the arts. This is going to make it worse. I mean, it might not sound like a lot of money, but when you're 49th in state funding already to start, that's terrible. So these are 2 financial things that you can really, as if you're an arts person, if you like your stuff around here, and that's not even to say that we need to pay our artists more and all this kind of stuff that like the Theater Alliance is trying to work on and things like that. Imagine MKE makes it really easy for you to talk to your representatives. You just need to go to imaginemke.org/act, and you can sign up for their Be an Arts Advocate, and they will help you to be one of those. And I think that if you are an artist, or if you are a patron, that you need to start thinking about how you can better help us develop that community more and get out of that 49th and state funding hole that we're in. So take a look at that at imaginemke.org. Just want to remind people, you know, lots of things go on every month. In April, it's National Deaf History Month. Really important for visibility and inclusion. A good website to go to for that would be the National Association of the Deaf at nad.org to find out where history is going for those who are in the deaf community. It's also the National Arab American Heritage Month. I surely don't know enough about Arab American history. I'm sure I'm not alone. So you can check out the Arab America Foundation.org to find out more information on the history of Arab Americans. And then I really hate this follow-up, but I got to do it. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Because, you know, part of what the Milwaukee theater standards are trying to get rid of and find, because it's not something that is easily solvable. Like, just stop sexually assaulting people. We have to continue the awareness that these things happen, and as a community, as a theater community, we have the responsibility to provide avenues to our artists to keep them safe, and when things do happen, to have the support system there to help people who have been victims. So that is what I have today.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. but it's all important. And as always, you can check out past episodes of You've Got a Thing on our YouTube and Facebook channels so that you can just see what's going on in our community and a lot of wonderful, amazing things. I don't know. We had a great meet and greet thing last Monday.
Excellent.
It went well. We largely talked about our independent artist membership that we're trying to develop. There were a few people who were really excited about that. So that's a good thing because we've been talking about that for a really long time. And so hope to get some individual artists on board this year to help bolster the community and get more voices in the Milwaukee Theater Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. And I just hope that we can host more events like that and, you know, just enjoy each other's presence and just talk to more artists and give avenues to new artists in the community to meet me and you.
Yeah.
And artistic directors and casting persons. Jonathan Hetler, who's a new associate producer and, you know, was largely responsible for making the non-accredited generals that are on Monday happen again. But he's also involved in casting. He was there on Monday. Michael Unger, the artistic director of Skylight, was there on Monday. So there were people there. I was there. That it would be good to meet and to know and to visit with. So hopefully we can make that happen. Joanna was home recovering from prelude.
I was not there. I meant to be there, but I was not.
No, that's so much. That's like I said earlier, I'm still recovering from Babel, and it's been 2 weeks. Like just the headspace. So I thank you for fill-in hosting because Jonathan couldn't be here today because that Milwaukee rep train keeps going.
Yes. My pleasure. It was such a delight.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Go see a show, everyone.
Go see a show, everyone. There's a ton of stuff going on in this community, and it's important. Support theater. Theater is a public good. That's all I can say about that. So I will be here next week. I think Sarah is a busy one these days, but maybe Corrie can come back and host, even though I heard something about, hey, I'm a backstage person. I'm not necessarily an on-camera person, but I can be very convincing. Or maybe Jonathan's free next week, and whatever. Somebody will be here hosting, and we will talk about another thing.
Yeah.
On You've Got a Thing.